Hey, what's up? We're playing with power today. We got some Nintendo powers to talk about. Last time I did volume 196 and volume 218. We're gonna roll it back a little bit and do volume 216 and move forward to 235 today. Some good issues. I got issues, and I'm here to talk about them with you today. I'm liking this series. My Nintendo Power Collection is at 5 right now, and it's still growing. I've been debating getting lots. I think it would take the fun out of getting the single issues. I've been kind of neglecting getting more in favor of building up the NES collection, but I'm gonna try and do both simultaneously right now. So, very exciting. I'll zip her up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. So, of my issues so far, this is my least favorite. 216, volume 216. From June 2007, this is the Nights issue. Nights for the Wii. And 2007 is an interesting time. This is about a year into the Wii. People knew what they were dealing with the Wii, yet there's still that excitement about what can we create with the Wii. And Nights is part of the Dreams series, Nights into Dreams. So the whole dream gimmick is sort of used as a publishing method for these articles, I guess you call them, or segments. They call the Dream Team the team that worked on the first Mario and Sonic at the Olympics Games for 2008. The never before seen thing. And granted, I mean, yeah, first time Mario and Sonic are really linking up like that. I'm sure that is a dream for a lot of people that they never thought would happen. Now, is Mario and Sonic all that? I mean, you can ask Alex. You know, I'm not the one to speak to it. And the whole theme is, it kind of runs dry by a certain point, but it does carry them into the segment on Nights for the Wii. And this is not a bad game. I have played this and I enjoy it. I think what makes it such a dream for the people writing about it, and then I think it's Takashi Iizuka. I could look it up real quick. He is the developer or producer for this game, but he was lead designer for the original game, is that they never thought it would happen. People were clamoring for it. It had not existed since the Saturn, realistically. And so for it to come back in this big, grand way was a big thing. And so they're really talking up, you know, what are you going to be able to do with Nights into Dreams? It's a good game. I just don't think it's anything really spectacular. And for them to spend 6 pages, 4 to 6 pages on the game was, I don't know, questionable to me. Granted, I do think that they're not wrong about anything. There are multiple ways to play the game. You could go back and, you know, it's kind of a more fantastic experience. And, you know, is the Wii able to produce better visuals than the Saturn? Yes. I just think, you know, from having collected 2 copies of the game for a couple bucks, didn't mean all that much to me. Miyamoto's face is also plastered all over this edition. So they start talking about the state of the Revolution. For those who don't remember, the Revolution was the code name for the Nintendo Wii. So what was the status of Wii games in 2007, June? It was hit or miss. Granted, they are announcing Super Mario Galaxy in the beginning of this, and it's looking good. They're also announcing Fire Emblem in this one as a preview. They're looking good. They go into some of the developer thoughts on games for these, how there was uncertainty about where do we go with the Wii. But just a general excitement about, okay, it's accessible for everybody. There is a question that comes up about, is it smarter as a business decision to produce new assets as far as characters in video games, or should you just go with existing ones? And they use Elebits as a poster child for this. For those who don't know, Elebits is another bargain bin basement dweller for the Nintendo Wii. So it's very ironic to see them use that as kind of the emblem for why you should make new assets, because you can get a big reward at the end of it. I don't know, I find it laughable, but still interesting, which segues into Miyamoto's iconic face. the Miyamoto smile and the non-answer. The interview of this issue is with Shigeru Miyamoto, And I think it's an interesting read if you want to see what a businessman's interview is supposed to be like, how to give a non-answer when somebody asks you a question. We heard that when you designed The Legend of Zelda, you would spend a lot of time in the forest. Can you tell us more about that? Yeah, you know, I think that it's really important for people to not just exist in a virtual world, but exist in the real world. Oh my gosh. There's a couple other moments like that where I think he dodges the question. Not my favorite issue. I think I did confuse last time which issue the Super Paper Mario review came up in. It was this one. Whatever, I'm not going to dwell on it. They gave it a 9.5 here and in the same issue with the preview, and they were pushing the strategy guide earlier in the issue. So very bizarre. And then another weird one is they have people cosplaying as their Miis or something like that in like Mii outfit gear. Honestly, this is one of the cheaper ones you may find online. You don't have to throw it in your collection. It's unless you're interested, unless you're a Knights fan, a big Wii fan. If you like the Wii waggle, you want to be part of the Wii takeover. Legend of Leo was talking up that one. But this one is an issue I was much more pleased with. I enjoyed my time reading it. It is the Animal Crossing issue volume 235 from December of 2008. This is a celebratory issue. I think it's 20 years of Nintendo power up to this point. I saw something mentioned about that. And of course, it's got balloons. Hooray. And the poster for this one is the Animal Crossing City Folk game for the Wii. So I really like this one because it has a lot of sleeper recommendations that I hadn't even really considered or thought of. A lot of DS RPGs, a couple Wii games. So there was one DS game that I really liked that they brought up called Worlds of Destruction, where the premise is not saving the world, but destroying it. They brought up a couple of the other RPG classics for the DS, the Chrono Trigger. Oh, and this one actually had something on Heroes of Mana, which made it sounded like it looked good in there. They brought up Suikoden, Tier Christ. I think Blue Dragon Plus came up. I don't know. That was a throwaway to me. But I really liked some of the games they spotlighted. A couple ones on the Wii I didn't even know about. One was called Lit, L-I-T, Lit, like they were using it before it was common vernacular, about this game where you light up the darkness and it's like a survival game. It sounded pretty cool. And then a Rygar game. Rygar is kind of this old NES game, I think, or arcade game. And the Wii one looks like a adventure game. Granted, it probably has like the Wii Waggle or whatever, but still a cool recommendation. And then of course you have the Animal Crossing segment here, but they approach it differently. They don't do this as kind of just like a preview of what to be excited for. They do like a daily journal for 4 days playing the game, because you know how Animal Crossing works. It's a simulation game. You got to play it day after day after day. So the guy writing about it writes about his first 4 days in Animal Crossing. So I mean, it was interesting the style they chose. I woke up, I went to the city bus. I found myself sitting next to a dog. The dog welcomed me to the town. That's when I was given my first welcoming by the mayor. Okay, so I really like the variety here. I just don't think it's entirely honest to the experience. Of course, it's gonna leave you excited and thinking that there's a lot in this big wide city to explore. But as you know with Animal Crossing, if you've played it long enough, it begins to run out of things. And they also pitch it as like a great way to communicate via the Nintendo Wi-Fi service, which, as you know, with the Wii has unfortunately lost its viability for this game. You can't really use City Folk in that way. So, I don't know. I'm mixed on it. I like the style. I just don't think it's as informative of the game's experience as maybe if you did day 1, day 11, and day 31 would be. You know, granted, it's a preview. Take it for what it is. You know it's the first 4 days. It's just the first 4 days. They did go into an interview immediately after that with the localization team, which I found interesting. I'm always interested to find out about the video gaming world and what it's like. And the localization process, they do definitely talk up the lots of script that you have to translate, but it appears that the experience is different for this team than you would see like for an RPG that's getting localized after the fact, because they're trying to do the simultaneous worldwide release. And it's not just a bilingual translation, it's a trilingual translation. So they have a team of 19 people. And what was interesting to me that they kept bringing up is that they were part of the creation process for the video game itself, rather than just working on the script. So they would talk out ideas and the script would not be finalized, and they would have to solidify these ideas before translating them. And then also, depending on the region that the game came out in, it would celebrate different holidays. Like we might celebrate Halloween, but Japan may not, or Europe may not. So really interesting to see. The interview in this one is with Hironobu Sakaguchi. I like this one. I think it was a good interview. He, goes into the inspiration for the first Final Fantasy games. He says the first one is his favorite. I was not aware he left to create his own studio. I don't have the name here. And I'm not going to look for it. It's going to take too long. But that explains a lot about the series and why it went the way it went. And I know he's a big name for Final Fantasy. It's just that I've never been that into Final Fantasy as I have Dragon Quest. It's interesting to see him cite Wizardry and Ultima as the inspirations, because those were the inspirations for Dragon Quest, my favorite series. I'm currently up to 11. Hey, 2 more. Go check out RPG Archive. If it's not out already, we have an archive of Dragon Quest 7 that is in the works. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a good interview. The reviews are very interesting because they're all over the place, and you can start to see the jadedness towards the Wii console in the reviews. A lot of 3s, 4s, 5s, and then you get the range 5s, 6s, 7s, a couple 8s. The highest scoring games in this were the Castlevania on the DS and frickin' Spectrobes. Of all things. I got an 8.0. There you go, Alex. And another good button mappers joke. They had the download section and they talked about Clu Clu Land in there, and it was the only game to get a red flag and the subtitle Grumble Grumble. So there you go, Grumble Grumble Clu Clu Land. All in all, good issues. I would go with the volume 235 subscriber edition. This one's for subscribers only. But are you a subscriber to me? If not, you should, because I got a lot of great content in the works. I'm definitely going through these Nintendo powers and enjoying the process. I actually got my first Nintendo 64 one, and it is a different beast altogether. So I'm very excited to kind of roll the clock back a little bit more for me, for you, for everyone with power, Nintendo power. Kind of, I'm working on it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.